You ever wake up and just know you're about to step in it? Not your average Monday morning bad coffee kind of mess, but the kind that makes your gut knot up before you even open your eyes. Yeah, that was me the day 4 black SUVs rolled up along my fence line, engines humming like they were about to serve a warrant on a guy whose wildest crime is leaving a rake out overnight. I'll never forget it, dogs barking their heads off, dawn still clinging to the hills, and my farm suddenly crawling with strangers wearing matching jackets that screamed Cedar Ridge Preserve HOA enforcement. Not police, not county, just some clipboard commandos thinking a badge and a blazer turned them into the Secret Service. And that's how it started right there. Me in jeans and a flannel half awake standing on my own porch while these people stomped through my yard taking pictures of everything, barns, tractors, the damn dog's water bowl. I'm thinking, is this a prank? Am I about to get punked on national TV? But no, they were dead serious. You could tell by the way Tank and Midnight, my 2 mutts loyal to a fault, were bristling at the screen door ready to go to war if I so much as nodded. Then she appeared, her Karen Hopewell pastel blazer hair in a bob so stiff it could slice bread, holding a clipboard like it was a judge's gavel. "Good morning," she chirps, voice as fake sweet as a diet soda. "I'm Karen Hopewell, president of the HOA. She hands me this envelope, big official looking, and tells me all chipper, "You're being fined $9,400 for violations." I stared at her honestly, thinking, you must have me confused with somebody who gives a damn. So I say, "For what exactly?" She rattles off a list, unauthorized. Livestock, visual blight, improper storage, you name it, and then hits me with the big one, failure to comply with community standards. I just stood there. "I'm not even in your HOA, I said. But she had that look like she'd already won, just waiting for me to realize it. "Technically, your land is within our sphere of influence," she says, sounding like she's auditioning for a villain spot on some bad cable drama. I wasn't having it. "You don't get to annex my home like you're collecting properties on a monopoly board," I told her. But Karen didn't blink, just handed me that envelope like it was the 10 Commandments, and I was Moses. Now, I grew up out here. This farm's been in my family since '81, passed down like a stubborn gene. You can imagine how well it sat with me when 2 of her goons started poking around my equipment shed, raising cameras like paparazzi. "That's enough," I said, stepping off the porch. "Get off my land." Karen barely flinched, just upped the volume, told her people to keep documenting violations. I could feel my jaw clench so hard I nearly cracked a tooth. Things got real tense, real quick. One guy made for the barn. That was the last straw. "Either you walk out now or the sheriff gets to explain criminal trespass," I said. Her mask slipped for a second. You know, the kind of twitch in the eye you see when a poker player knows their beat. "We're not finished, Mr. Hale," she spat, gathering her squad and stomping out, promising all kinds of hell if I didn't cooperate. And you'd think that'd be the end, little morning drama, coffee ruined, back to regular farm business. Nope, not my luck. Barely 20 minutes later, the barking starts up again. I look out, and here come 2 more this time, trying to crowbar the barn open. No SUVs, they'd parked down the road thinking they'd get sneaky. "Hey!" I shouted, voice echoing over the field. "You just broke the golden rule out here." They tried to play it off like they had some right to inspect unregistered structures. I told them exactly what they could do with their crowbar. Tank and Midnight didn't need a command. They were between those jokers and my barn before I could blink, muscles bunched, ears pinned. Karen swept in again. Swear to God she was hiding behind a tree waiting for her cue. "Mr. Hale, this resistance is making you look unreasonable," she said. "We're just performing a regulatory inspection." I said, "You're trespassing." I wasn't bluffing about the sheriff this time. Shotgun in hand, pointed at the ground, safety on. I looked her dead in the eye. "Your trespass is supposed to intimidate me. The shotgun's just so I don't have to yell." That was about the moment my phone buzzed, the dispatcher on speaker, Deputy Coleman's on his way. You should have seen Karen's face. She called her people back, but not before promising you just signed your own eviction notice. Deputy Dan Coleman showed up right after. Guy's built like a log splitter, seen more HOA drama than any human deserves. Took one look at the mess. Snapped pictures, took my statement. If they set foot past that gate again, he said that's criminal trespass. If they break in, that's burglary. He gave me the look, the one that says, "This ain't over." And he was right. 3 days went by too quiet, that kind of silence that's got teeth. Then a letter lands from the county. Congratulations, it says your property is now included in the HOA's jurisdiction. Just like that. My land swallowed by a line on a map. The nerve. So next morning I'm at the assessor's office demanding answers. Turns out Karen's little annexation plan came with a survey signed by a licensed engineer. I knew the guy Ted Sloan, retired, sells apple wine, can't even find his own mailbox without GPS. I called him up, put him on speaker. "Hell no, I didn't sign anything," Ted barked. "They tried to rope me into something shady last fall." The county clerk's face went pale. "This is bad," she muttered. "Yeah, no kidding." That's when it clicked. Holston Development Group, big-time land sharks, offering incentives to HOAs for parcel integration. Karen wasn't trying to fix my fence or my grass. She was trying to wear me down, rack up violations until my land value dropped, then swoop in for a cheap buyout. They'd done it before. But see, I'm stubborn. Too stubborn. Wasn't even noon when a drone flew over the barn. I'm thinking, great, now it's Big Brother. But then this young woman strolls up, jeans and camera, and a look like she's about to knock over the world if it gets in her way. "Hi, I'm Lex." She says I run a channel about land rights. She already knew the whole story. In 10 minutes, she had me mic'd up, telling the world about fake maps and HOA raids. "People need to hear this," she said, and boy did they. Her video goes viral, 2 million views overnight, and then the stories pour in, folks from Arizona, Kentucky, Florida, all bulldozed by HOAs who think they're the IRS. Karen hadn't just poked a bear, she'd poked the whole damn woods. Then came Raymond, a guy from 30 miles out, same thing happened to him. Lex found doctored documents, identical signatures, and the same Holston Group fingerprints all over it. When she posted that the media swarmed, Karen went on TV, tried to smile it away, but the internet wasn't buying it. Walter is a legend, they said. This HOA is a cult. Suddenly I'm sitting in a lawyer's office with Ellen Grant, a woman who looks like she could outcuss a trucker and out-argue a Supreme Court justice. She takes my case, digs up everything, trespass, fraud, harassment, you name it. That's when it got dark. Her office gets broken into, no cash taken, just my file and all the evidence. Clean, professional. But Ellen, she doubled down. "This is racketeering dressed up in beige," she said, hiring a guy to sit outside her door at night. Turns out Karen had a master key used for inspections and a private file labeled acquisition pipeline. My name was on it. So is Raymond's. Lex dropped another bombshell, online evidence piling up, insider testimony, thumb drives, emails, all tying Karen to Holston fat bonuses. Secret plans to break us with fines until we sold. We took it to court. The courthouse was a circus, news vans, protesters, folks waving "I stand with hail" signs. Judge Jillian didn't mess around. Ellen laid it all out, fake signatures, trespass, break-ins, bribes, the lot. Even had old Ted Sloan on video calling Karen a clipboard tyrant. Jury ate it up. Karen's lawyer tried the just following orders routine, but Ellen cut him off at the knees. When Karen finally admitted to those performance bonuses, the courtroom went silent. Guilty. 6 years prison, HOA dissolved funds, seized the whole empire, turned to dust. Funny thing though, I didn't feel like celebrating. Just peace. The kind you get when you survive a storm, not just win it. Life rolled on. Karen went away. The HOA vanished. Lex sold out of t-shirts with my dogs on the front. Trespassers will be politely escorted by security. Folks mailed me letters, told me I'd inspired them to stand up, showed me photos of their dogs, their fences, their land. Even Ellen had to hire more staff. Turns out fighting bullies is good for business. But what stuck with me most was this one afternoon standing by my fence, the wind rolling through the field. I realized it was never just about land. It was about that invisible line, the one between what's yours and what someone else thinks they can take. They tried to erase that line with fear, with maps, with lawyers and lies. We held at me my dogs, a lawyer with a mean left hook, and a girl with a camera. And you, if you're out there facing your own Karen, your own fight, draw that line, hold it, don't let go. And tell me, where do you stand when someone tries to take what's yours? Drop your story in the comments. Let's see who's got the strongest backbone in the country.